the shade of the financially strong leader, life is always brighter. Sri Lanka Insurance, like a father, like a mother.
In a few moments, the news.
Sri Lanka Insurance, like a father, like a mother.
This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
.45, this is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Danushka Madhavala and read by Soundi Thavam. The President requested the newly appointed graduate employees to justify the salaries they earn. The media spokesman of the National Disaster Management Centre says that they expect the rainy weather condition over the island to continue. The National Building Research Organisation has issued a Level 2 landslide early warning for parts of the Galle and Kalutara districts. The preliminary report of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry probing the alleged incidents of political victimizations was handed over to the Prime Minister. In world news, the International Criminal Court officials sanctioned by the US. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa handed over letters of appointment to a selected group of graduates, symbolizing the recruitment of 60,000 graduates to the public service in order to create a culture of Rata Venueng Vada as envisaged the Vistas of Prosperity and Splendor policy statement. The simple ceremony that lasted just 25 minutes was held at the Presidential Secretariat yesterday. Even though applications were initially called to recruit 50,000 graduates, the government decided to recruit 60,000 on the instructions of the President. Job recipients will be directed to a leadership, skills and attitude development training program. At the end of the one-year training program, appointees will be employed in institutions directly related to the rural sector, such as rural and estate schools, Department of Agrarian Services, regional irrigation officers, Department of Wildlife, government Ayurvedic hospitals, rural hospitals, dispensary and Department of Minor Export Crops. The President requested the appointees to actively contribute to the development process. He emphasized that newly appointed employees should justify the salaries they earn and avoid being a burden to those who are engaged in the agriculture and fisheries sectors who earn money to pay the salaries of the public sector. The President highlighted that the responsibility lies with the newly recruited to enhance their knowledge in the selected field and to pursue postgraduate studies and computer training for the furtherance of their careers. Media spokesman of the National Disaster Management Centre says that they expect the rainy weather condition over the island to continue. He said that relief had been provided to the damaged houses. He disclosed that more than 200 houses have been partially damaged. He further said that the hotline number 117 is operational 24 hours of the day to inform about any disaster situation. The National Building Research Organisation has issued a Level 2 landslide early warning for parts of the Galle and Kalutara districts. The warning states that since rainfall has exceeded 100 millimeters during the last 24 hours and due to the continuous downpour, people living in these districts have been cautioned of the possibility of landslides, slope failures, rock falls and ground subsidence. The NBRO has warned that the residents should, if they see development of cracks, ground subsidence, slanting of trees, cracks on floors built on slopes, sudden appearance of springs or muddy water, they should alert the authorities. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Sri Lanka Insurance, like a father, like a mother.
The preliminary report of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry probing the alleged incidents of political victimization was handed over to Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa yesterday. A total of 6,952 individuals who were purportedly subjected to administrative retaliation in the public and semi-public services from 2015 to 2019 have filed appeals. The relevant report contains details of investigations, observations and further action on the appeals submitted by 1,152 of these persons. The Prime Minister has emphasised that it is the responsibility of the committee to bring justice to all those who were subject to political victimisation, adding that if the committee's recommendations to the heads of the institutions are not carried out properly, the Cabinet should be informed and justice should be done to the victims through the subject ministers. The committee was previously chaired by current Speaker of Parliament Mahindayapa Abeyewardena, and Attorney-at-Law Chaturika Wijayasinghe holds the position of the Secretary, while Aryaratna Arumaperuma and Mahinda Seniviratna serve as the members. Secretary to the Prime Minister Gamini Senarath and Additional Secretary to the Prime Minister Chaminda Kularatna were also present at this occasion. That's local news.
Sri Lanka Insurance secured AAA Fitch rating once again, even in these defining times. The only insurer to be awarded AAA Fitch rating, Sri Lanka Insurance pledges to offer unparalleled services and insurance solutions to its customers. Under the shade of the financially strong leader, life is always brighter. Sri Lanka Insurance, like a father, like a mother.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
The Ministry of Health says 4 more persons infected with COVID-19 recovered yesterday. The epidemiology unit said 2 of them were being treated at the Infectious Disease Hospital and the other 2 were at the Valikanda Base Hospital. COVID-19 recoveries in the country thereby reached 2,883. The number of positive cases in the country at present is 3,092. The epidemiology unit says 197 active cases are under medical care at selected hospitals. That was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
Moving on to Watchlight, the Consumer Affairs Authority says legal action has been filed against 113 traders for offences linked to the sale of turmeric. Assistant Director of the authority, Priyantha Wijayasinghe, revealed the CAA has taken legal action against traders who sold turmeric for prices higher than that of the recently imposed control price of 750 rupees per kilogram. The Consumer Affairs Authority also revealed that many complaints have been lodged of shops selling substandard turmeric by mixing various other substances into it. That came to in Watchlight. Moving on to a bulletin of world news, and in the headlines, the International Criminal Court officials sanctioned by the US. The US to cut $100 million in aid to Ethiopia over Nile Dam row. And Harry and Meghan to make shows with Netflix. The US has imposed sanctions on senior officials in the International Criminal Court, including Chief Prosecutor Fatou Bensouda. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo accused the court of illegitimate attempts to subject Americans to its jurisdiction. The Hague-based ICC is currently investigating whether US forces committed war crimes in Afghanistan. The US has criticized the court since its foundation and is one of the dozen states which has not signed up. Balkis Jara, senior counsel at the non-governmental organisation Human Rights Watch, condemned the sanctions as a shameful new law for US commitments to justice for victims of the worst crimes. The US is reportedly cutting $100 million in aid to Ethiopia over a controversial mega dam being built on a tributary of the River Nile. A government source said the move had been triggered by Ethiopia's move to start filling the dam before reaching agreement with Egypt and Sudan. Egypt has long been opposed to any development on the Nile that could reduce the amount of water it receives. Ethiopia says it needs a dam to provide a reliable electricity supply. Once fully operational, the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam will be the largest hydroelectric plant in Africa and provide power up to 65 million Ethiopians. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex have reached a deal with streaming giant Netflix to make a range of programs, some of which they may appear in. Netflix chief Ted Sarandos said he was incredibly proud the royal couple had made the company their creative home. The multi-year deal will encompass documentaries, docu-series, feature films, scripted shows and children's programming. It comes 6 months on from the couple stepping down from royal life and moving to California to live away from the media spotlight. Back to the headlines of the world news. The International Criminal Court officials sanctioned by the US. The US to cut $100 million in aid to Ethiopia over Nile Dam row. And Harry and Meghan to make shows with Netflix. And that concludes world news. Moving on to development news. Sri Lanka ranked high, outperforming South Asian neighbours in its air quality measurement, according to the Environmental Performance Index 2020, released by researchers at Yale and Columbia universities recently. The prestigious index, now in its 22nd year, has become the premier metrics framework for global environmental policy analysis, ranking 180 countries on several performance indicators. Based on peer comparisons, overall Sri Lanka is ranked 109th with an EPI score of 39 out of 100, ahead when compared with its South Asian counterparts. The air quality issue category measures the direct impacts of air pollution on human health in each country. It consists of 3 indicators: PM 2.5 exposure, household solid fuels, and ozone exposure. That's development news, and moving on to sports, it's soccer. Manchester United have signed Netherlands midfielder Johnny van de Beek from Ajax for £35 million plus £5 million in add-ons on a 5-year contract. Van de Beek, 23, played 175 first-team games for Ajax, scoring 41 goals and helping them make a surprise run to the 2018-19 Champions League semi-finals. He will be available for United's opening game of the 2020-2021 season against Crystal Palace on 19 September. Van de Beek is the Premier League club's first summer signing. And that's sports news.
The wait is over, and it's time for you to experience happiness. It's time to remap the graph for success. It's time to rebuild your empire. It's time to initiate your entrepreneur dreams. Empower your dreams with NSB Wings. Get your 2-year personal loan for just 7% per annum, starting from 500,000 rupees to 10 million rupees. All you need is just one guarantee. NSB Wings. Recharge the high goal.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The Minister of Industries, Vimal Veeravansa, and the Hambantota International Port Group Private Limited held a meeting regarding a proposal to set up a tyre factory in Hambantota at the Ministry of Industries, Colombo 3, recently. HIPG CEO Ray Wren said the first tyre factory was to be built with an investment of $300 million. He also said that 2,000 employees are required for the factory and they would be recruited from the area. Also, all the materials needed for the production of tyres would be obtained from Sri Lanka. That's business news. We take a look at economic news next.
The wait is over, and it's time for you to experience happiness. It's time to remap the graph for success. It's time to rebuild your empire. It's time to initiate your entrepreneur dreams. Empower your dreams with NSB Wings. Get your 2-year personal loan for just 7% per annum, starting from 500,000 rupees to 10 million rupees. All you need is just one guarantee. NSB Wings. Recharge the high goal.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Hello, Puta, did you land already?
We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy.
Calm down, everything is sorted. Why, I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge.
LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
The government will expand the ports of Galle, Trincomalee and Kangesanture, which will be geared to accommodating the increased exports to both regional and global destinations. The State Minister of Container Warehouse Facilities, Container Yards Port Facilities and Boat and Shipping Industry Development, Jayantha Samaravira, said that the expansion of these three ports would be useful in the light of the ports of Colombo and Hambantota being congested in the future. He also said that one of the top priorities of the government was also to use the rail transport network for the transport of containers, which would ease the congestion in both the city of Colombo, the outstations and the immediate Colombo suburbs as well, which is a proposed agreement which was received by the Strategic Enterprise Development Agency around 2 decades ago. And that's economic news.
Congratulations on your promotion. Heard you gave a treat for everyone in your department yesterday.
Yeah.
When will be our treat, huh?
Well, how about today?
Oh no, I was just joking. We'll have a party with your new salary.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Those who spread goodness radiate happiness to everyone around them. Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
Weather report was sponsored by
CIB Janajaya Vasana 15th stage draw commenced 24th August to 13th September. Discounts up to 40%. Come today to CIB.
Several spells of showers will occur in the western, Sabragama, southern, central and northwestern provinces. Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places in the Uva and eastern provinces and in the Mullaitivu and Vavuniya districts after 2 p.m. The wind speed can increase up to 40 km per hour at times over the northern, north-central and northwestern provinces and in the Hambantota district. The general public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by lightning activity and localized strong winds during thunder showers. The sun is going to be directly over the latitudes of Sri Lanka during the 28th of August to the 7th of September this year due to its apparent southward relative motion. The nearest towns of Sri Lanka over which the sun is overhead today are Katupota, Guruvela, Vilegama, Mahayur, Tumpankani, Palukamam at about 12:09 noon.
Weather report was sponsored by
CIB Janajaya Vasana 15th stage draw commenced 24th August to 13th September. Discounts up to 40%. Come today to CIB.
To conclude this news broadcast, a recap of the headlines. The President requested the newly appointed graduate employees to justify the salaries they earn. The media spokesman of the National Disaster Management Centre says that they expect the rainy weather condition over the island to continue. The National Building Research Organisation has issued a Level 2 landslide early warning for parts of the Galle and Kalutara districts. The preliminary report of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry probing the alleged incidents of political victimization was handed over to the Prime Minister. And the International Criminal Court officials sanctioned by the US.